Behind us is the Subaru BRZ.
Now, if you're looking for a sporty number for the summer with an amazing sound, you should definitely look at Subaru's little sports car, the BRZ. And this is the facelifted model too.
The model we have here is just over £27,000, however the range does start from just over £26,500.
And quite amazingly, it will get just under 40 to the gallon.
It's quite amazing really, considering something that has a 2-litre petrol engine that produces around 200 brake horsepower. It's pretty mad.
It is, and as you'll see, we did manage to get 3 people in it too, so it is more practical than you'd expect.
I'm going to be taking a look at the exterior styling.
I'll be looking at the interior, the functionality, the practicality.
We'll then both be driving it to bring you our verdict on whether or not this is the car for you.
Stepping into the Subaru BRZ, well, it's like getting into any sports car or supercar. It's very low slung, so getting in maybe a touch easier for Michael than myself. And it's not really the car that you'd take grandma or granddad on a little shopping expedition, unless they want to go sideways down country roads. Now, the interior is like you'd expect from a premium Subaru. You've got soft touch plastics on the dash, you've got the leather surround around the instrument cluster with the stitching, and that's in red, which matches the BRZ on the back of the Alcantara seats. Now these are very, very huggy, or buckety, whichever you prefer. They hug every contour of your body. Functionality wise, it's like you'd expect in a sports car. You've got all-round electric windows, which is obviously only 2. You've got power folding mirrors, you've got cruise control. It would have been nice to see the adaptive cruise control from the other Subaru range, but you don't really need it. You've also got your media controls on the steering wheel. There's no rain sensing wipers, but you do have automatic headlamps. The infotainment system is of a decent size. It doesn't, well, our model doesn't have navigation. It does have DAB, it does have Bluetooth, it doesn't have Apple CarPlay, but the sound system is very good in itself. It's quite bassy as well, and especially with this size of environment, you do get real feeling from the music. You've also got dual zone climate control below, you've got a USB to the left, and your engine start stop button too. The short shift gearbox is surrounded by a black leather gaiter with red stitching, as is the steering wheel, as is the handbrake. It's also, if you've noticed, the old style handbrakes. You can still do those manoeuvres if you like. You've also got track mode as well to really get the car sideways if you want to. And you've got heated seats. Practicality wise, I've got decent headroom and I'm 6'3". I've also got lots of leg room too, and there's adjustment in the steering wheel with reach and height. Now the seats aren't electric, but there is lots of manual adjustment in them, and if you pull that lever, that will also allow the rear passenger to get in too. Storage wise, the car's extremely well kitted out, especially for this as a model. You've got a decent sized door bin where you can fit a bottle of water, got a little storage point under the dials. You've also got a central storage area with cup holders and I assume it's a phone holder, and it does remove and you can put it at the front or the back. You've also got, surprisingly, a glove box, and it's quite a decent size too. Stepping into the rear of the BRZ, yes, I've actually managed it. I am 6'3" and I am sat back here. Okay, realistically you'd have to be rather small to drive it, but it is doable. I mean, they are really for children, but it's great to know that you know, if you are limited at some point, you can actually use this to transport people on short distances. You've also got your stereo speakers in the door. You've got this nice leather surround, and you can use the cup holders from the front, which is quite handy. Obviously there are ISOFIX points too.
At the front of the car you've got this sporty sculpted front bumper and a low ride height. You have also got daytime running lights and fog lights. Although this doesn't look like your traditional Subaru, it still has the performance to match its heritage. At the front of the car you might think that this looks like a Toyota GT86. Well, they were developed in conjunction with each other. You do have automatic headlamps, manual wipers and no front parking sensors. However, you do get a good view of the bonnet from the driver's seat, so it's not too difficult to park. Coming to the side of the car, you've got 17-inch alloy wheels with a low profile tyre. You've also got these big flared arches and this styling here with these cool matte inserts there. You have powerful door mirrors, keyless entry, and coming to the back you really do get an idea of how wide this car is. Coming to the back of the car, you've got this matte black spoiler. It really contrasts with the silver. It ties in really nicely with the wide rear stance of this car. You've also got these sculpted LED rear lights. There is no parking sensors or reversing camera on here. It would have been nice to see because it is somewhat difficult to park because of the visibility, but it's not the world's biggest car. You have got this very well sculpted rear diffuser with the F1 style fog light and these huge twin exhausts.
So what's the Subaru BRZ like to drive? It's 2 litre, it's around 200 brake horsepower, and the sound it makes, it's incredible. I mean, you'd be driving it purely and simply for the sound.
When you sort of think of this car, when people ask you what do you think of it, it's like, well, you know, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, it's not the most practical thing in the world, but by God, it is one of the best things to drive in the world.
It is absolutely awesome, isn't it? It's a real driver's car. That short shift gearbox with the 6-speed. I mean, you can only get manual. Oh no, you can't. You can get an auto, can't you?
You can get an automatic, yes. Which Car Obsession has got at the moment.
It is. It'd be interesting to see what they thought of it. But I mean, listen to that sound.
It does sound incredible.
And it's like lightning acceleration, isn't it? You drop a gear, especially what, 3,500 to 5,000 is where you really feel it.
Yeah, it's I found myself, you've got to keep it above what, 4,000 to get a lot of life out of this engine, but that's the nature of the engine.
Yeah. For saying that, it's no slouch below that, is it?
No, the short shift gearbox is very, very good. The steering's very direct, and you've got almost a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. I think it's 52-48.
And you can tell as well when you drive it.
I think that's why it goes round corners like it's on rails.
Yeah, it does feel. Yeah, the suspension's very, very good, but it's hard. It's not hard, is it? It's hard enough to make it handle well, but it's not uncomfortable by any means.
Yeah, it's actually perfect. You know, you can live with it.
Yeah.
You know, you do feel the potholes, but that's just what's going to happen if you want a sporty car.
Exactly. It's well worth it in my opinion. What surprised me is the economy. And it's just under 40 to the gallon, which that's quite something for a 2-litre engine, really.
Yeah, considering we're getting sort of similar economy figures to what we had out of the Subaru Forester, which was a lot bigger car.
Exactly. Now manoeuvring it, driving around town, well, it's a breeze. Okay, the turning circle's not what you'd expect from a small hatchback, but it's a sports car, so it's perfectly acceptable in something like this. And I'd rather have tighter steering on a back road than perfect steering in a car park.
I would also like to have seen parking sensors on it as well.
Yeah, but saying that, it is a small car, but I suppose, as you mentioned, the bonnet. Is it the fact that it's like a blind spot?
You do get a good view out the front, but I find when you look at the back, because you've got these big pillars.
Oh, and the spoiler as well.
Yeah, you do find it a bit difficult to see, you know, if you do a reverse park. It's definitely one you could annoy the neighbours with.
It is. But we don't do that kind of thing. Instead, we take it to the countryside and unleash the power. Now, one thing you probably wanted to know is what it's like on a long journey. As Michael mentioned before, I mean, how many miles have we done in this car collectively?
It's well over 1,000.
It is. And at any point were you like, no, I'm leaving out the bit where you're in traffic?
Yeah, like I had a choice between driving another far more practical car home or driving this car, what was about 180 miles, and I have to admit, I thought, well, brain is saying practical, economical car, but then
Heart was saying this.
Yes, heart says this. It has been an absolute. It's just been so much fun driving this car this week.
Yeah, it's a real driver's car. I know we're going to keep saying it, but it is. Until you drive one of these, you wouldn't actually know. I mean, yes, the question is whether you want to go for Subarus or Toyotas.
So what's our verdict of the Subaru BRZ?
Well, it's fantastic looking. I think we both agree it is one of the prettiest sports cars out there, isn't it?
It's definitely a head turner.
It really is, and it's far more practical than I expected. It's relatively economical, and the sound it makes when you drop a gear.
Well, you do have a 2-litre injected engine, a 6-speed manual gearbox, rear-wheel drive, and them 2 massive exhausts. It's a recipe for fun.
And if manual's not your bag, you can also get an auto box too.
Well, that's it. You can actually make this car very practical.
You can.
We managed to carry 3 people and luggage down to Bedfordshire from the Lake District, and we did manage to do it.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it wasn't the most comfortable experience, but you can do it.
Well, it's a 2+2, isn't it? It's not built for that, but the keynote is basically you can do it.
Well, that's it. For just over £27,000, you can get a car that's just as much fun as a Porsche, but 1/3 of the price.
Exactly. So if you're looking for a sporty number for the summer, well,
it's definitely worth taking a look at.
It really is. The BRZ really is a car to drive.
Our only gripe is I wish we could take the roof down.
I know. Subaru, it would be good to see a convertible version, just so you can hear the tone of that engine.
For more great impartial car reviews, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about the BRZ, leave it in the comments section.
Thank you.